even to this day, Michelle, if you look at what do hardcore right-wingers and hardcore left-wingers think of each other, it's the same things. They think of themselves as bigoted. They think of them as intolerant. They think of them as ignorant. Both sides on the edges think of each other in the exact same way. And so for me, I heard a lot of the things that you heard about conservatives. That's what I heard about liberals. And I will remember, and I do remember the thing that was so grievous to me was exactly what you pinpointed was, wait a minute, we serve and love people a lot. Like we give and we go overseas and we serve, when I was in college, we did overseas trips where I would help build schools and dig wells for clean water. And if you went to a Christian concert, they would always be passing around these sponsorship things where you could sign up to sponsor a child through World Vision or Samaritan's Purse. That was just part of the culture. And I'm sitting here thinking, why are you calling us it? Why are you saying about this about us? That we're uncaring, we don't care, that we want people to starve. Wait a minute, like we give and we give and we give. But then I actually realized when I went off and I went to a very secular place at Harvard Law School and I was very much in the minority, I encountered secular liberals who were every bit as kind and thoughtful and compassionate and caring as sort of the Christian people I admired the most. And so one of the things about actually meeting people is it always scrambles. It really does scramble your presumptions, which is why it's so important that we have to make intentional efforts to get out of the bubble. Because the one thing I will say, Michelle, is that it is true that there are vicious, intolerant, hateful, bigoted Christians out there. And sadly, a lot of people who are liberals, that will be the only kind of Christian they interact with. Because let's suppose you're in San Francisco, you don't go to church, you're not surrounded by people who go to church, but you maybe make a comment on Twitter, right, about an issue that you care about. Maybe it's LGBT rights. And the next thing you know, some guy with Christ follower in their Twitter bio is using gay slurs, right? And so that's a very real thing. And one thing that I tell my Christian friends who are very angry at secular people for kind of casting aspersions on them is that we have to walk a few miles in each other's shoes, because a lot of secular folks have had very brutal, rough, and difficult interactions with Christians. Not you, not your family, not anybody you know, but they have had terrible interactions with Christians, and you have to know that.